All right, let's talk about what's next for Ethereum, because a massive evolution is on the horizon for the world's biggest smart contract platform. We are talking about its next major upgrade, and believe me, it is a total game changer.
I mean, just think about it for a second. What if the biggest headaches of using Ethereum, the slow transaction times and those absolutely eye-watering gas fees, what if they just went away? Imagine what that would unlock for everyone. Well, that's the future we're about to step into.
So yeah, you're going to want to mark this on your calendar, December 3rd, 2025. That's the date the Ethereum network is set to activate the Fusaka upgrade. Now this is what's called a hard fork, which is really just a fancy way of saying it's a mandatory software update for the entire network. And this one is a huge step in Ethereum's big plan to scale up for the whole world.
So, let's break it down. What exactly is Fusaka? Well, in a nutshell, it's a massive software update. A great way to think about it is like Ethereum is getting a brand new, super high-performance engine. And its main job? To fix the single biggest issue that's been holding the network back: scalability. It's all about making Ethereum capable of handling way more transactions, way faster, and for way less money.
Okay, so why now? Why is this upgrade so incredibly important? Well, it all comes down to a problem that, let's be honest, if you've ever used Ethereum during a busy period, you know this pain. It's the scalability bottleneck.
Probably the easiest way to wrap your head around this is with an analogy. Picture the Ethereum network as a single giant highway. Now, as more and more cars, or in this case, transactions, try to get on, what happens? You get a total traffic jam, gridlock. Everything slows to a crawl, and the tolls, which we call gas fees, they just skyrocket because everyone's trying to pay extra to get into the fast lane. Fusaka is designed to basically add a bunch more lanes and create a much smarter traffic system. And look, this isn't just some theory. The data is crystal clear. You can see from these charts that other blockchains, like Solana, are catching up fast. They're processing a ton of transactions and generating serious fee revenue. This kind of competition means scaling isn't just a nice-to-have for Ethereum. It's an absolute must if it wants to stay on top. So, we get the problem. Now for the really cool part, the solution. How in the world is Fusaka going to unclog this digital highway? It all boils down to some seriously clever new tech. The absolute star of the show in the Fusaka upgrade, the technology that everyone is buzzing about, is something called PeerDAS. This is the secret sauce, the core engine that makes all these incredible scalability improvements possible. So what on earth is PeerDAS? Well, it stands for Peer Data Availability Sampling, and it totally flips the script on how network validators check data. See, right now, validators have to download all the transaction data from secondary networks called Layer 2s. With PeerDAS, they don't have to do that anymore. Instead, they can confirm everything is legit just by checking a few tiny random samples of the data. This quote on the screen? It absolutely nails the concept. Think about it. Instead of having to read an entire massive book from cover to cover just to make sure it's the right one, PeerDAS lets you just flip to a few random pages. It's a mind-blowingly efficient shortcut that saves a ton of time and energy, all while using some really smart math to make sure the data is secure. It's a huge leap. And hey, while PeerDAS is the big thing coming, the network is already getting faster. Just recently, validators voted to increase what's called the block gas limit to 60 million. That's a 33% jump. It basically means more space in each block for transactions right now, giving us an immediate capacity boost even before Fusaka arrives. As one of the core developers, Tony Warstatter, points out, this move doubles the network space capacity in just 1 year. That's huge, and it really shows how committed the whole community is to scaling up, and that this isn't a one-off thing, but a constant push to get bigger and better. Okay, this tech stuff is fascinating, but let's get down to brass tacks. What does all of this actually mean for you? For the people using Ethereum, building on it, investing in it? Well, the impact can be summed up in 2 words: faster and cheaper. And here's the bottom line. If you're using Layer 2 networks like Arbitrum, Optimism, or Base, Fusaka is going to be massive for you. Because it'll be so much cheaper for these networks to post their data to Ethereum, analysts are projecting that your transaction fees could drop by a staggering 40 to 60%. That's a huge saving. But wait, it's not just about the fees. Fusaka is also a giant leap for user experience. It's adding support for the exact same security tech that's already in your smartphone, the stuff that runs Face ID or your fingerprint scanner. This means you'll be able to sign transactions with a glance or a touch. just like you do with your banking app. We're finally moving past those clunky, scary seed phrases.
What's amazing is that all these tech upgrades are happening just as big money institutions are getting really serious about Ethereum. We're seeing huge inflows into BlackRock's new ETF, big investors are buying up hundreds of millions worth of ETH, and now almost half of all Ether is held by institutions. Even governments are starting to stake ETH. It's a massive vote of confidence.
And, that confidence is showing up in market forecasts. With Fusaka making the network so much better, some analysts are putting out some pretty bold price targets, suggesting ETH could hit 5 figures by 2026. Now, obviously, this isn't financial advice, but it does show you just how optimistic people are about where this is all heading. Now, it's really important to get this. Fusaka is not the finish line, not even close. It's actually just one critical piece of a much bigger, multi-year plan for Ethereum. So let's take a look at where it fits into the grand roadmap.
This timeline really puts it all in perspective, right? Back in 2022, we had the merge, which made Ethereum incredibly energy efficient. Then in 2024, we got Dencun, which introduced blobs to make things cheaper for layer 2s. Now in 2025, Pectra and Fusaka are here to give us that major scalability boost. And it doesn't stop there. Glamstamder is planned for 2026, and it's all part of this relentless drive towards the final goal, a network that can handle over 100,000 transactions every single second.
So I guess that leaves us with the big question. With the network becoming faster, cheaper, and way more user-friendly, and with all this institutional money pouring in, is Fusaka the final, crucial piece of the puzzle? Is this the moment that cements Ethereum's place as the one global platform for the decentralized world? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but it is without a doubt the biggest step in that direction yet.